Also, according to God, no, they were actually not doing wrong. Again, I just gave two examples of people who God used to punish the Israelite. God used the Egyptians in the Bible. God used Babylons in the Bible. What if God have just used Hitler? It's just another name to just punish his own people. Like, you could literally use the Bible to prove that Hitler was on the right side. Oh my God. You could use the Bible to prove that Hitler was on the right side. He was doing something good. He was doing something that God would have liked. Hello and welcome to Black Bear Atheist. Today we're gonna check out this new YouTube channel that I found. The channel's name is Melissa Dougherty. And the name of the video we're watching today is Christian versus Atheist. If there was no God, morality is just your opinion. This has Frank Turek in it, and I'm gonna check out another video of this channel, this woman, and we're gonna see what she has for us.
I thought you just told us that there is no such thing as objective morality. Is it immoral or you just don't like it?
No, I said there was no such thing as objective morality. I said all morality is relative.
So
And
why
it is-
are you objecting to somebody who doesn't want to put a kid with a homosexual couple then? Why are you objecting to that if there's no...
We have the right to object. We are always doing that, okay? We're always making these choices. It's not wrong to say that I'm making my independent choices, independent of any other book or any other holy book. We all make the same moral choices. I find it wholly immoral.
Oh, according to what standard? Your own
According
standard?
to my standards,
oh,
yes.
well, that's okay.
That's
So
exactly the same way you do it.
are you condemning somebody else for having...
Is right, Frank. That's the exact same thing you do. Even if morality comes from God, which really there's no evidence for, even if morality comes from God, it's still subjective to God. It's subjective to your own understanding of the laws. So morality is still relative and subjective.
having a different relative standard than you?
No, I'm saying we all have to take responsibility for our moral judgments. We are all making those decisions in real time, just like you are.
Okay,
For the
yes.
same reason that you're not going into Leviticus and saying, and let's kill the gays, that's immoral to you and me. We're making that relative moral decision.
I would not imply that until he said so. It's Frank Turek, and honestly, I don't know what this guy would do.
Supporting your relative moral decision with other Bible quotes that you're finding.
Yeah, but you're confusing the decision with the existence of a moral standard. You're saying that there is no moral standard, or there is a standard objective outside of humanity to which we should...
Okay, so he already answered that, and he said we're living on a relative morality, not objective morality. What's the point of asking this question again? Unless he's just looking for a way to, ask the same question again, break down the person he's asking the question, and say something like stupid. I mean, like, what's the point of asking the same question over again when you've give you the answer?
should obey.
There is no objective moral standard. We are
Okay.
responsible for our own actions.
Responsible to who?
To ourselves and to our society.
Which society? Mother Teresa's or Hitler's?
The society in which we live.
Okay, so
Yes, this is not an easy question.
So at Nuremberg, then, we really had no right to convict the Nazis of obeying their government.
We as a world society judge our criminals, and we judge them as we see fit.
I know we judge them, so you're saying we just judge them based on our preferences. In some cultures, they take care of their babies. In other cultures, they eat their babies. Which do you prefer?
Which culture eat their babies, and also how do we know about this culture when they already never exist? Because if they're eating their babies, how are they gonna reprocreate and keep on the line and actually populate? I don't think there's any truth to what he's saying here.
I prefer the ones where they take care of the babies. I
But-
also prefer
but
the
it-
ones where the Nazis don't do terrible things under the name of God.
But it's just a preference.
Yes.
Okay, so
Oh, it seems like he missed the fact that he just said under the name of God. Under the name of God. I did a video before where I said Hitler is more close to God's heart than Mother Teresa. And I still don't really know fully who Mother Teresa is. But I'm very sure Hitler is closer to God's heart than Mother Teresa. Hitler killed people. Hitler went after the Jews, punishing God's people for him. Who knows whether that's what God commands him to do? Just like he used Babylon. Remember the biblical story of how God used the Egyptian Babylon to, literally make his people suffer. It seems like I'm speaking gibberish, but when you think about it, God said David, the one that killed someone just to have sex with his wife, is the person that God said is after his own heart.
It's an opinion.
If it's just an opinion, I don't know why you condemn a Christian couple for not wanting to put a baby with a homosexual, because that's just their morality that they have every right to express themselves, don't they?
They have every right to do it. I'm saying it's a wholly immoral position.
According to who?
According to me.
Well, okay, well, that's just David
Of course,
Silverman.
it's all according to us. We all make our own moral decisions.
Yeah, I understand.
Well, he's just like trying to undermine his argument, but when you think about it, Frank is the one that's actually looking dumb here. We all make those moral decisions. We all make the laws. Not we all make the laws. We elect those that make the laws. And if the laws are just immoral, we try to change it. That's like, the civil rights movement that happened in the 1950s. Those were unjust laws keeping people back, keeping people unequal, giving unequal opportunities to people based on the color of their skin. And those are terrible things. So it does make sense to consider those things immoral. We're making the decisions. That's why morality changes over time. If it's just one objective morality that's outside of human, then it will never change.
The only difference between you and me is that I take responsibility for my moral decisions, and you justify your moral decisions by finding a passage in the Bible that matches your moral decisions and saying, aha, it's objective morality.
Well, if there is no objective morality, then we have, it's even hard to talk this way because we say we have no right, but that implies a moral standard too.
No,
See,
we have a societal right. Society
according
gives us the
to
rights.
you, or
according to
Hitler,
society,
or
and according to the government that we create. Yes.
Okay, well, then we had no real way to condemn the Nazis for what they did.
That's the hard.
No objective way to say what they did was wrong. Because there's no necessarily an objective morality. Subjectively, you don't want Hitler to kill you and your entire family. So Hitler is wrong for what he's doing. Hitler is wrong for what he's doing goes against really human nature. We understand that we need to be together, create a society together, and build ourselves up, not break each other down and try to wipe out an entire genocide. Genocide isn't something that will benefit anyone. Subjective morality, hard pill to swallow, but it is what it is. Just because you can take care of reality, just because you can grasp reality, does not mean, he has to be a god. I mean, most religion in general, most likely were created because of fear of death. If you look at it, Islam, 72 virgins for man, Christianity, eternal life in heaven, it's all just rewards for people to when they die. It's all about that system. Subjective morality.
The hard answer is you're correct. The hard answer is it is a matter of opinion. The hard answer is they thought they were doing objective good. They did.
Oh, they
so
may
we condemn them as a society, but we do this all the time.
Yeah, they may have thought they were doing good, but they really weren't according to a standard. But the only way you could know whether
according
they were
to whose
So according to God, no, they were actually not doing wrong. Again, I just gave two examples of people who God used to punish the Israelite. God used The Egyptians in the Bible, God used Babylons in the Bible. What if God have just used Hitler? It's just another name to just punish his own people. Like, you could literally use the Bible to prove that Hitler was on the right side. Oh my God. You could use the Bible to prove that Hitler was on the right side. He was doing something good. He was doing something that God would have liked. Because this guy is the one that wiped out the entire planet and leave out 8 people. This guy is the one that cares about only one tribe in the Middle East and doesn't care about anyone else. Again, you can use the Bible to prove that Hitler was a good guy. He followed God's law.
Really,
Standard.
the unchanging, objective moral standard that is God's nature.
Frank, you're lying. You're lying at this point. Unchanging, then are we still having slaves? No. Is slavery still okay? No. The unchanging, no, Frank. We still don't see women as properties. Some idiots do, but not the majority.
And
They did it under the name of God.
well, there's a lot of people
The fact that he skimmed over that when he first mentioned it, tells a lot.
that you don't judge a philosophy or a religion by its abuse, David. Jesus never said that we ought to go kill the Jews, quite obviously. He was a Jew himself. You should know that.
Yeah.
Okay? So, because people have abused religion doesn't mean that the religion is false.
The fact that
I don't think that's what he's claiming, and if that is what he's claiming, then it's a dumb claim. The point is, people have used religion right. It wasn't that Hitler abused Christianity. He used it right. He used it in the right way. It wasn't that the slave owners abused the Bible. They used it in the right way. That's the problem with the Bible. It's not that they abused it. They used it in the right way. They actually use it in the way the Bible clearly say they can use it. It wasn't that they were going against the Bible. It wasn't like they were owning the white slave owners. It wasn't like they were owning their own people. They weren't. They were owning another race, another people from Africa. That's what they were doing. And that was okay according to the Bible.
people have abused religion shows you that morality is relative. If it was objective, you couldn't abuse it.
No, you're confusing sociology and morality. Sociology is how people behave. Morality is how they ought to behave. We all ought to behave a certain way, but we fail to. By the way, that's why we need a savior. Okay.
You're clapping.
It is really funny. I can't stop myself from laughing or like literally out to tears when I'm watching Frank Turek speak like a bozo. This guy cannot debate people. They need to get him off the stage. Christians, if any one of you watching this, get Frank Turek off the stage. Don't let this man speak for you. I know most of you are actually okay people. Most of you don't actually think, owning slaves is okay. You need to get this guy off the stage. It's making you all look terrible.
Clapping for that? Really?
Here's the problem. The problem here, David, is that you're assuming that God could have created another universe where nobody sinned. That
Yes, it could have. And yes, literally humans do this. Again, I keep bringing up video game examples. Humans do this through video game.
while it's logically possible, it might not be actually achievable with free creatures.
Well, sin was not an
Yes, it is. When you give your children a toy to play, you don't give them a real gun and a real knife and then a fake gun and then a fake knife to play. You don't. There's a reason why. Because they will kill themselves. Even when you tell them don't use this, they will still end up killing themselves. God could have just done what any normal parent would do. not give their children a good real gun. Like, it's not that hard. If a human can think this, then a God that's all-knowing can definitely think this. And if he's not doing it, again, I feel like this God just loves watching humans suffer. That's even if he exists. But so far, no evidence proving that he does.
Option.
No, sin, if God creates a universe with free creatures, he might not be able to create a universe where everybody freely chooses not to sin. So he creates the universe we're in now. People freely choose to sin, and then his job, the whole purpose of the Bible, and we're not really even here to talk about the Bible, but since you brought it up, the whole theme of the Bible, from Genesis to maps, is one word, and that is redemption. You have paradise lost in Genesis, paradise regained in Revelation.
You are totally avoiding my question.
No, I'm getting there.
Before Adam ate that apple, he was without sin.
Yes.
Before he ate that apple, he was without sin. God put the tree here.
Yes.
He knew it would cause the fall of man.
Yes.
God pushed Adam and Eve out of the Garden of Eden. God made the decision.
Yes.
God made the choice.
And then God made the choice to go in and rescue.
It's Frank, again, don't let this man speak for you guys. Do you not understand how this logic follows? God made the garden, God made the humans, God made the tree that the humans are gonna eat and fall. God made that tree, put it in the exact location that it is. God made all that decisions. God knew while making those decisions that humans are gonna eat of that tree and they're gonna sin against him. God never told them what sin is. God never told them what will happen. He never told them he would send them out of the garden. He never told them anything. He just said, you shall die. 2 seconds later, it all folds. God made the decision to throw them out of the garden. He could have let them stay and forgive them and actually take out the tree. Because when your child cut themselves with a knife or cut themselves and hurt themselves, you don't send your child out of the house. You keep them in the damn house and you help them. You help preventing them from touching that thing until they're ready. That's not what God did though. God threw them out. Make some damn sense.
So that's what the redemption's all about.
God chose.
David,
David, I'm also confused. I am also confused. How did you end up in a place where there's mostly Christians and they're just clapping? Like, Frank is not making any sense, guys, and you're letting this guy speak for you all. This is concerning, guys. This is concerning.
Clap for anything in this audience. God is the villain here. God is the one.
Wait! Stop!
Yes.
There's no villains because there's no good or evil. You've already said
changing
so.
the subject. God is the one who made the choice.
I'm not
you said
changing
evil
the subject.
evil entered into the universe because of a choice. I'm submitting to you that it was not Adam who made that choice.
Who was it?
It was God who made that choice.
God made a choice.
So God's a villain. God's the one who sent you to hell. God's the one who sends everybody to hell. God's the one who caused the fall of man, and he did so with intent, with deliberate. God is an ass.
Nobody sends anybody to hell. You send yourself there.
Oh, the classic, you send yourself to hell. But let me remind you that everything, according to your idea, everything that made me to be skeptic of things when I was a child and right now is God. So if I'm skeptic of Christianity and I don't find any evidence for its existence, he made me like this, knowing that I am going to end up being an atheist. He knows this from when he made me. So why would he do that? Why would he make me with that and with that skepticism? He could have just not do that. But that's not what we get though. God did exactly that. There's no free will in the Bible, people. You have to face the facts. And those are the facts. There is no free will in the Bible.
God sent everybody to hell. That's
David,
good, but you're not listening to the argument if you're applauding.
David, people who are in hell are there justly. Okay?
Oh, well, who's justice?
Well, there is no justice according to your worldview. It might be that there's no other scenario whereby sin ultimately wouldn't enter the world. Again, let me say this again. What is logical?
Wrong and wrong and wrong. When you create a game, when it's a game, like, let me say my favorite game, which would be like 2K right now. When you're playing 2K, can you kill someone in 2K? No. Okay. Let's even go to a crazier game. Like Assassin's Creed, you can kill a lot of people, but there's consequences for that. There are laws for that. You can't do everything. Like, there's restrictions that we humans even make. And that game is like, it's really made for like that kind of crazy shit. Killing and shit and like war and stuff. Let's go to like something like Link. So I'm talking about Link from Legend of Zelda. The main character can't just attack anyone and kill them. There are restrictions on that. God can do the same with sin and control it. But the fact that he did not, and then sin went rampage, you can't blame man for that. You have to blame the person that is the creator.
Logically possible might not be actually achievable with free creatures, okay? That's the problem here. You're assuming that God could have created a universe where nobody ever sins. Well, if there are free creatures, there might not be any universe whereby nobody ever sins.
This is not my point at all. My point is that free will is eliminated.
How did we end up with there might be no universe where sin was created?
There is no such thing as free will if God is omniscient.
Oh, no.
That is my point.
Oh, no,
God knew the future when he put the tree there.
Look, I knew you'd be here. Does that mean I caused you to be here?
God knew if I drop this, does it have a choice to fall?
Yeah, but you see, that's not an...
Oh my God, mic drop. If I drop this, does it have a choice to drop? I mean, if you drop someone out of a plane, do they have a choice to drop? Can they unchoice and unchoose and go back to the plane? No.
Agent. We're agents. We
But
make decisions.
If I have 100% foreknowledge, and if I know with 100% certainty that if I put the tree of knowledge here, it happens, and if I put the tree of knowledge here, it doesn't happen. If I have 100% foreknowledge, like your God supposedly does,
Just because you know something doesn't mean that you're...
So it's going back to the same rant. Just because you know something doesn't mean you did it. Doesn't mean you're actually or the one that caused it. That's not necessarily what we're saying. It's not like God is just like a prophet that can see the future. God is not Doctor Strange. God made everything and then knows what is going to happen to everything that he made, including humans. So, he is the one that made the choice for man to fall. He made everything and put everything in the exact position that is going to lead them to sinning. That's going to lead them to eating of the fruit, Adam and Eve. That's going to lead them out of the garden. He made the decision to get them out of the garden. They could have stayed in the garden. He made that decision. He made all those decisions. And to you, Frank, from your perspective, from a man's perspective, from anyone's perspective, you want to act like you actually have free will. You want to act like you do. And this is reality versus the fairy tale. And sometimes we can't even differentiate between them when you come to arguing about this shit. In your fairy tale, Frank, there is no free will. And in even reality, there is no free will. It's a hard pill to swallow. And the one that's the reality, obviously. The fairy tale, obviously, there is no free will. When you actually read the Bible and you're able to complete the Bible, read it objective, read it as with no bias as you can, and you say there's free will for the people that were killed, the flood happening and wiping out people, they had the free will to choose whether they want to go on the boat or not. But really? There is no free will in the Bible. But in reality, the debate is still there. But I don't think there is. I think there's so many things that comes into play for you to make the decision that you're making today, that it's not really you making the decision. It's just the series of events that happened before that makes the decision for you. That's just my opinion.
Choosing, or that the person doesn't have free will. I mean, you have a 16-year-old daughter. You knew when you had her that she would sin one day, but
What?
you're not responsible for that sin, yet
I
you
don't
choose
have
to have her.
100% foreknowledge. I can't cause her
You
to
knew
sin.
she would sin because she's a human being, yet you chose to have her.
But
What? Okay. Okay. Frank, let's back up. So are you saying human beings, because we're human beings, we will sin? Who made humans? God. Why did God made humans with a nature to sin? Unless he wants a downfall. Frank, I am trying to break it down as much as I can, but you gotta meet me halfway, man. If humans are born with a sinful nature, who made us? According to your views, according to your Bible, God. God designed humans with the nature to sin against him. Why would he do that? Unless he wants our downfall. No, God is a psychopath, man. A psychopath.
Adam was without sin. He was perfect
Yes,
at the
and
time.
he chose, but God can redeem.
He didn't choose. He had no choice.
So that was basically it. I thought she was gonna say something, but I guess this is not really a reaction to her channel then. I'm gonna make some videos on her channel, but this is very, very interesting. Is this not like a copyright? Whatever. I generally don't care. I generally don't care at this point. Christians, read your Bible again, and I'm telling you, you don't have there's no free will in that Bible. There is no free will of any sort, except for God's will. That's the only thing that technically counts. Like, there's no free will. Nobody had free will. We're making the decision to, like, no. There was no free will. Everyone was just a pawn in God's game. He was playing chess with himself, being the good and the evil at the same time. Like, you've been, like, he's playing chess with himself. That's exactly what goes on in the Old Testament and the New Testament. There is no free will in the Bible, and those are the facts. You could accept them or deny them. I mean, you all cherry pick to begin with either way, so whatever. That's it for today. If you like this video, click that like button and subscribe. Have a great day.